From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may know all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum Hunab Ku Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Ayum Hunab Ku Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Ayum Hunab Ku Eva Maya E Ma Ho. All hail the harmony of mind and nature.
It's just different.
I am the world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies, spies. It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth the sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies, spies.
All right. Greetings and in Lakesh. Welcome to Sync Talk. Truly excited about this. We're going to be talking about the whole mind, perceiving and seeing from your whole body and what that does for your experience. in this reality. So very, very, very excited about that. Those of you that are online, you definitely want to reach out to those people who may be interested. This is really one of those special sessions that can help speed up the evolutionary process for sure. All right. So definitely let's go ahead and get to roll here. You just heard the prayer. And I want to say something about the prayer. The prayer that we use, the prayer of the 7 galactic directions. Just that number 7 is very powerful because it's the mystical number. It's the number of the lost chord. And one of the things that I like to say that we have truly lost in our human experience is our memory. That there is a state of consciousness that's beyond where you are, and you just hadn't remembered it yet. This is what I discovered for myself. I said, I just hadn't remembered enough about who I am yet so I can be. And in our sessions, just to kind of, those of you that may be new to the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment, we don't start from our feelings, because our feelings is a program of our past experiences, traumas, etc. Because if we start from our feelings, we'll think from our feelings. So let's just say, I feel tired. Okay. So now our thought process is going to be based on, I feel tired, so I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to do that. Right? So everything is going to be based on the feeling in that moment. And let me tell you the dangerous thing. Our feelings change. And so now it's like hopscotch. Oh, okay, now I feel this way. So now I'm going to be this type of person. Now I feel sad. I want to be this type of person. Now I feel angry, and you don't want to see me when I'm angry. So now I got to show you the angry person and create what? Circumstances that reflect my anger, circumstances that reflect my sadness, circumstances that reflect the lack feeling that I feel. The other thing is feeling like something is not an authentic feeling. I feel like somebody's trying to betray me. But does that absolutely, is it the absolute truth that that is what they're doing? Or are you betraying yourself in some way? These are things an evolved person thinks about so that they can be effective in their life. Because I want you to write this down, whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, or what have you. I want you to write this down. You ready? Things are subject to change. Everything is subject to change. Now, who is the subject that makes the change? I am. So let's go through this, because this is powerful when I start talking to you about the whole mind. If you're having trouble with just a partial mind, the whole mind is going to be too much for you. So let me show you. So I'm the subject that has the power to change. Everything is subject to change. So I'm the subject that effectuates change. I am. Right? So I feel tired. I ain't got my blood circulating yet. And so here we go. Even though I feel tired, watch this, because let me tell you, those of you that are listening, you don't lack intelligence, you don't lack drive, you may not even lack structure. Many of you lack the energy to carry out your plans. Now, a lot of people that I notice in my coaching, they don't have a plan. And what do they say? If we fail to plan, what are we doing? We're planning to fail. So there's two things people are lacking. And I decided to shore this up for me. One, they don't have a plan. You know, so people say, hey, would you be interested in investing into this? What's your plan? That's what you should ask somebody. Before you start getting excited and putting all your time in, what's the plan? Well, I don't know. Let's get the plan together, then I can dive in. right? And the other one is the energy. So it don't matter how much good stuff I give you tonight. If you don't have a plan and you don't have the energy to implement the plan, you're not going to get far with what I'm teaching you. And what I'm teaching you is going to seem so far-fetched that it's going to seem like your skills are not adequate enough to be what I'm talking about. And it's just not true. Everybody can do what I'm talking about if they follow the appropriate steps. Does that make sense? All right. So let's get into what we're here to get into, because we had the prayer, and the prayer kind of is a telepathic message to the universe. One, the first step, right? From the east, may everything come in clarity. From the north, right? May wisdom ripen in me. From the west, right? May wisdom turn into right action so we can do what we must do, what needs to be done. From the south, because we did what we must do, things ripen and get better. From above, the blessing shower, because we took advantage and created the harvest, right? From below, we now brought peace between the heart and the mind. And now we bring peace to the planet. And then from the center of the galaxy, we're able to focus with all our might and all of the universe might for our purpose and different intentions that we have. That's the power. Every time you say that prayer, you are creating all the most 7 powerful forces in the whole galaxy to work on your behold for whatever it is you're about to set your intention to. And you cannot, watch this, you cannot operate with that kind of power and fail. I don't care what it is. I don't care your health condition. I don't care what your money position is. I don't care how many degrees you got or don't got. I don't care if you only got a 7th grade education. It doesn't matter. All that matters is who I am in this equation and how I see my heart to heart. And then you'll see the power of different levels of consciousness that you can operate within this body. You won't even be able to stop you. You won't even be able to stop you. So how many of you want to access that kind of power? That's not me talking, because at some point you're going to have some situations that are going to challenge you beyond what you think. It's going to challenge you, just that you read a concept, you've seen something that makes sense, but then a real life experience is going to come to challenge you. And at that point, that's when you say, wait a minute, this is an opportunity, but not an obligation for me to step up my game. Just with the different health challenges that I've been presented with, it has caused me to operate at another level, at another octave in terms of my health consciousness. I'm so intentional. I'm more intentional. I'm 10 times, 20 times, 30 times more intentional than I've ever been. And you can do that with your health. You could do that with money. You could do that with your relationships. But let me tell you what's happened. We're lackadaisical. We'll get to it when we get to it. You know what? That sounds cool. I kind of want it, but let me just see. Okay. Well, what you're going to see, if you're casual, you're going to become a casualty in your own life experience, in your own movie that you're producing. So it's very important that you take what I say seriously and elevate yourself into the whole mind, or what we call the hollow mind. The hollow mind is filled with everything that can exist, the infinite mind wave, and perceive from the whole mind, not this partial mind or egoic aspect of us that wants to be separate from everything else. And this brings about telepathic memories, which in telepathic memories, you're going to remember that you're so telepathic. That's what a version of prayer is. When you're prayer, you're sending telepathy from your spirit to somebody else's spirit, or your prayer right? It's how you communicate with the God in you with certainty and intuition is how God comes back and communicates with us. You see? So you got to know the relationship. So you got to know that what you're receiving is intuition. It's not a curse from the devil that's about to take you out. That's not what this is. And so you'll know, right? You'll know it's not of God because you'll have more fear about it and anxiety about it. And if you in that moment have fear and anxiety about it, and you go to God, the God in you, and you say, hey, I'm having some anxiety about this. How do I stabilize this? And then you'll know it's from God because you'll experience immediate calmness and you'll feel a resonance in your heart space. And some people feel all of that and still scared to say, well, but I'm gonna just still do it the old way. Okay, you're gonna miss out on the new opportunities. Now I'm showing you something because it's a lot of people right now stuck on what Trump is doing. I was just listening to something Reverend Ike was talking about today. And I just randomly picked a video, and he was talking about that they were saying that what they were having a discussion about what the Democrats and the Republicans can do for Black people, what they would do for Black people if they got elected. This is back in the 60s, right? Now we're fast forward in 2025. It's still the same thing. And what he was saying was so profound. He said he almost lost his religion because he said it doesn't matter. We're not going to sit around and wait for somebody to do something for us that we can do for ourselves. He said it doesn't matter what they do. For me, what does it matter? What I do for myself. And so just think about the time and energy that we are spending on seeing which party is right and what's going to happen to us. They do it concentration camps or whatever. Okay, but everybody has to be of the mind, what am I going to do for myself in this experience that I've created on earth for me to evolve through? And if you go at that, what I'm about to share with you gonna blow your mind, and you're gonna see why you need to be a part of the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment and remembering your telepathic powers, or you're gonna be subjugated to the artificial programs that's going to force your hand into a limited disposition. So let's get into it. All right, let's go ahead and get into it because we're talking about the Holomind perceiver. And so I'm going to talk about what this Holomind perceiver is. It's an ancient technology, but it's kind of new for really to help the human evolve in this time, because we lost our sense of purpose. We've lost our concept of time. We think time is mechanical and time is spiritual, right? And so this is a necessary conversation. It's not an easy conversation, but it's a necessary conversation if you want to thrive from here on out. Because what I will tell you is technology is getting more and more intense in terms of being able to control what we got going on. All right. So the Holomind perceiver and telepathic remembrance. Now, the Holomind perceiver, what is this? This is kind of something we've been talking about for the last few years. And, we're going to get into it. First, of course, those of you that are new and just chiming in, my name is Neb Taharka Kanishkawak, and I'm the founder and chancellor of the school we call the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment. And the reason why this school is so important is because what I realize is two things. One, enlightenment is pure consciousness. Here's what I want you to know. In pure consciousness does not know poverty. Pure consciousness, according to this concept, knows nothing about slavery or colonization. Pure consciousness does not have anything to do with illnesses and diseases. Pure consciousness does not have an island of self type relationship with others. Pure consciousness is so abundant that you don't have to think about prosperity. You don't have to think about, am I healthy? You just are, because your consciousness is so pure. That's what enlightenment is. It's the highest level of consciousness recorded that humans can experience in this physical material plane. So if that's the highest, shouldn't we all be striving for that, first of all? And so this Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment, we encourage you to strive for pure consciousness, or to reach the highest states of enlightenment that you can reach, to design the highest quality of life that you can ever ascertain in this physical experience. So that's one, enlightenment, Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment. Two, right, is after enlightenment, okay? After enlightenment, now that you're enlightened, now we got to talk about evolving. How do you evolve from where you are now to that point? Well, now you got to understand things that the programs and the systems hadn't taught us. Why hadn't the systems taught us this? Because they have a different purpose for us than what we have for ourselves. You got to think about this. Most people don't know their purpose. So what the system does is give you a job and reward us, scarcely. That's why there's scarcity in our psyche. And then we kind of figure out, after we're at the end of the cycle, right, of contributing to our job, man, I should have done this. Man, I should have done that. Okay. So evolving, what does evolving involve? What does it require from you? What about you has to change so that you can thrive in this type of culture now with the advancements of technology? These are the things that the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment talk about and teach on, so that you're far beyond the program. Far beyond the program. Okay? So who are we? We are a progressive group of cosmic beings that are highly intelligent, intuitive, telepathic, and laser beam focused on what? Evolving throughout the journey of remembrance to fulfill our galactic purpose. The other key component is memory. So we have not remembered certain aspects of us or put ourselves back together so that we can be strong in the areas that we are weak. So we are going through that process now. And the more we do, the more successful we're going to be. We're online based predominantly, and we've been going strong since July of 2023. And so we got students that chime in from everywhere. Our primary focus is two things. One, the law of time and its relationship with nature and how that works on our behalf. We don't want it to work on our behalf because we're whole, because we're one with. This is another version of ourselves. Nature is a reflection of who we are in our conscious level of consciousness. Okay. And whole mind concepts. Now, the purpose of the whole mind is for us to realize, okay, that the bigger our mind is, or the higher level of consciousness we operate with, the smaller our circumstances get. So you want your circumstances big, or you want them small? I want them small. What do I look like teaching these concepts, and then some circumstances come and I just give up and take my own life or something? No. Remember I said everything is subject to change. So I'm going to change my level of consciousness to tower over my circumstances, right? But what happens when we get anxiety, we think the circumstance or the trigger is bigger than our concept of God based on the level of consciousness we operating with right now. Even if that's true, man, this feels like, here we go, that feels like again, that these circumstances are overwhelming. That means that in your psyche, you think that your circumstances are bigger than the power of God in you, and you're just gonna, this is God bringing a curse on you or something like this, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just not true. So when I say things are subject to change, what you do is you say, man, it seems like these circumstances are insurmountable. But wait a minute, Neb Taharka said things are subject to change. What do I want to change about that? Well, I'll start here. They seem like they are overwhelming, but I know that the God in me is infinite. So what I'm going to do is raise my level of consciousness and say, I know I have the power over these circumstances. So therefore, here's how it works now. Here's how it works. I think I have power over these circumstances. I feel power over these circumstances because I'm smacking it around and moving it easily from this place to that place. I know I have power over these circumstances because I'm moving it like paper. And therefore, I am power over these circumstances. And therefore, I know power, that I have power over these circumstances because I'm overpowering the circumstances versus the circumstances overpowering me. Now, think about just the power and what that felt like to speak to your circumstances. And you hear some pastors talking about that the faith of a mustard seed could move a mountain. So your speech, your throat chakra can say mountain, which is i.e. circumstances, move out of my way. Because you have authority over the circumstances if you have power over it. Now, what good is it going to do you if I teach you how from this concept you can teleport and you could be more mindful in terms of psychological and psychic access, right? Untapped psychic abilities, and you can't move your mountain. What that going to look like? You don't have the confidence to tell your mountain to move. But I just learned how I could be more telepathic with Neb Taharka at the Synchronistic Human School of Life. You don't need the school to tell the mountain to move. What the school does is show you how to do it so that you can reinforce and teach yourself and teach others how they can move about through this order in the most dynamic way from the highest mind, the greatest expression of yourself. Okay, so this is a powerful concept. So as the power of evolved concept, if you correct your mind, so based on what I'm saying, we got some correcting of the mind to do. The rest of your life will fall into place when you correct your mind. We're going from the information age into the telepathic age of our experience. And who owns your time owns your mind. Change your time and change your mind. Change your mind, and you will change your world. And so now we could get started because the Gregorian calendar that programs all of our appointments, that tells us when to go to our jobs and when we're off, is obsolete as it relates to your evolution. That this calendar is supposed to evolution, and it evolves programs and limits your mind to the program versus the power of synchronicities and nature and the infinite mind wave that's created through consciousness that has this whole cosmos operating in synchronicity. It's obsolete. So if you want to evolve, that's not the basis of how your calendrical methodologies. Because what it's doing is it's atrophying the left side of your brain, the logical side of your brain, and making you mechanical. And because we don't live in a society that's a right brain society, then you got to be at the command and control of Simon Says and this artificial technology in order to survive this reality. The only problem with the survival methodologies is they expire. The programs expire. Evolution inspires. Which one do you want? right? So you can see the left brain has become mechanical. It's become desensitized. It's artificial. So now when you're trying to do your spirituality is based on spiritual concepts from an artificial technology perspective, because that's the pattern that your brain has been taking your life experience through. So now when we talk about remembering the Holomind perceiver, we have to turn that left side into nature, into time being energy factored by time is art, what we create, not time is money, not time is materialism. That's what we have to correct. We got to change our left brain from an artificial computer into cosmic memory, into the power of natural cycles. And when you do that, you now have power beyond the artificial programs. All right. So the solution here, when we look at this, is to evolve. And so we start out with the 13 moon calendar. So there is a talk that you can find on YouTube called the 13 moon calendar. Look it up. I do it. It's powerful. All right. Just to give you a synopsis of it, the 13 moon calendar, we follow it because it helps disrupt systemic programming from artificial calendars. I'll give you an idea of this because a lot of people don't believe me when I say this. But how many menstruation cycles does the female have per year when they're regular? I'll tell you, 13. Not 12, 13. 13 cycles. 13 cycles that are 28 days each. So the female menstruation cycle is supposed to be, right? Each cycle is supposed to be 28 days. Do you know that's the same amount of time, the mean average, that it takes the moon to revolve around the earth? Isn't that significant? Think about it. Why would it synchronize with the female? Because of the creativity, the creation format, that when the female is on natural cycles, it empowers everything on the earth to move and advance and evolve. When it's not, technology is able to advance and evolve. So we're on a planetary moon and we get into a conflict with programming versus synchronicity. So it's a learned behavior. All right. So day one, you're not going to just start following this calendar. You're going to come into a conflict. Do I follow the program, what I'm used to, or do I follow this faith walk of synchronicity? So fear is going to kick in. You say, I just follow the program because at least I know what to expect. Wrong. You want to follow the synchronicity because it's going to unlock and unleash a part of you that is atrophied, that you hadn't forgotten about, that you hadn't remembered, I should say. So right now, when the planetary moon, so this is the first thing that I do. I look at where are we on the 13 moon calendar. We're on the 10th moon, and that planetary moon has a meaning. I'm gonna get to it in a minute. Okay. Then there's another calendar that measures the gestation period of how long it took us to become in this physical reality, been born in this reality. So it takes about 260 days. So this is the Olmec and Mayan cosmology that to evolve spiritually, you want to focus on the cycles that it takes gestation generally to happen. Now, why doesn't it take 365 days for a human to be born in this reality? Let me tell you why. It's the Earth's cycle of revolution around the sun. So we base our birthday, which is okay, based on the Earth revolution around the sun. Now, that's an important relationship that we need to know, but it's not our story yet. See, our story is it takes roughly 260 days, give or take a few days, for us to go from the invisible to be born into this reality. And each one of those days, there's an expression of the Creator that is evolving our cycle to prepare us for our human experience. It's part of the whole mind experience. So once we mature and are ready to be We make contractions to be born in this reality, and a contract is based on the purpose we came here for. Now we're talking. The question is, out of those 260 days, right, there's 260 expressions of the Creator. What expression did you incarnate into this reality on? So with me, I incarnated on the 239th out of 260 expressions, right? And it's called the blue overtone storm. My purpose is to empower and catalyze. That's my galactic purpose. So if I come to Earth and now I'm a grown up and I got all my consciousness, I know how to evolve, I know how to enlighten myself. That means that everything I do, if I go to the store, I'm empowering and I'm catalyzing. I'm getting things moving in the direction of enlightenment and evolution. What about if I go to church? I'm empowering and I'm catalyzing. What about if I go to the playground? I'm empowering. I'm going to meet somebody and I'm going to be empowered, or they're going to be empowered, right, at that park. Well, what if I go to the beach? Same thing. What if I go to the library? Same thing. What if I go to my job? Same thing. What if I'm having a business meeting? The same thing. What about my priesthood? The same thing. There is nothing that I can't go to and take empowering and catalyzation to, because it's my galactic purpose and why I came to the planet. And if I stay focused on that, I have a very different life than if I'm waiting to see what's going to happen to me. If I'm looking at every other report that is a portion of the from technology on the earth, which is man-made, it says, oh, we're going into a depression or a recession or this ession or that ession. Who cares? I'm on the cosmic economy anyway. I don't care, because I'm focused on my purpose, and my purpose supersedes what is ever experiencing in the world that don't know its purpose. Right? So it's very, very, very important. So in this light, we move from consumerism to our own creative process. Think about that. The program is for you to consume. We consume knowledge. We consume food. We consume until we become consumed by what we consume. And then we're not able to carry out our purpose if we become consumed or consummated in it. You see? But now we start creating. And if you look at yourself as a creator, what can't you do? What can't you be? Right? So now we teach these concepts to integrate them into the mind. Why? Well, one part of it is to disrupt the systemic programming on the left side of the brain. The other part is to bring purpose to the right side of the brain so that emotional intelligence will rise and you'll be able to intuitively figure out anything that's ever existed. And then you integrate that with the cycles of the earth going around the sun, and you just became a son. You just became a son of God, not a male, a son. And everything revolves around the sun. Therefore, I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the light. The light of what? The light of consciousness that what? Enlightens, that evolves through remembrance. And when you figure that out, you can listen to this over and over again. And when you're able to practice it, I just didn't say it like this. The first time that I heard it, I started living it, and I start seeing me becoming a giant to my circumstances, and me towering over my circumstances and saying, mountain, move. Disease, move. Right? Lack, move. Right? Governments, govern my mental, move. I don't need anything governing my mental. I'm beyond that state of consciousness. I can practice self-governance. I don't need anything to govern me. You just made yourself bigger in this society. But we're waiting to be governed by a system that's designed to make us less than God. And we live in poverty. We live in poor relationships. We tolerate them. We live in ill health, wondering when we can advance. And you can advance whenever the hell you say I'm advancing, you advancing. There ain't no better time than right now. Right? What's a better time than now? See, that's the only time is now. Well, let's what has this got to do with the whole mind? Because if you can't have the right mindset, you ain't going to be able to handle telepathy. You can't let circumstances punk you and then be able to teleport and remote view and retrocognitize your experience by going and time travel in the past or precognitize your future. If you're going to let your circumstances punk you, this is the time to say, circumstances, we about to get it on and get it on. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how young, fat or thin, black or white, whatever. You have to make a decision and draw the line in the sand that I'm already this way before I get this higher knowledge. If you don't, you're going to be waiting on something to develop you versus remembering you already got it. And you just have to make a decision that I'm moving forward. Despite how hard it looks, I'm moving forward. Despite how much pain it may bring, I'm moving forward. And haven't you noticed that some things start out painful and then we adapt to the pressures of pain, and then the pain becomes pleasure, and then we triumph over the pain and we make the pain our strength. That happens with working out, doesn't it? You go work out. I want a certain kind of physique. I'm going to work out hard. I'm going to curl. I'm going to do this. I'm going to jump. I'm going to do aerobic. And then it feels like a train hit me. Do it again and do it again and do it again until it don't hurt no more. And then you're going to look at yourself and say, whoa, I look amazing. Whoa, can't nobody stop me. Whoa, I can run a 40 dash. Whoa, I can do this. Whoa, I can do that. And that's how you get it done. But if you ain't willing to step into the fire, if you're not willing to step into the pain and make it pleasurable, it's hard to get further than where you are right now. And everybody got to do it. Everybody got to carry that destiny cross. Everybody. Nobody. There's no shortcuts. There's no easy way to what I'm talking about. And that's what makes it simple. So the whole mind opens up, right? And we realize, like in the planetary moon, the 10th moon we're in, look at the question. It says, how do I manifest? Where you manifest is the next question. How do I perfect what I do? You want to know how to manifest? The next, I'm going to ask you the question behind the question. How do you and how are you perfecting what you're doing? Well, I'm not perfecting it. I'm complaining right now because I don't like this situation and circumstance. That's not what the moon says, Starkin. The moon says, before, this is the precursor to manifestation, is how do I perfect what I do? So my question is, what are you perfecting today? Well, nothing there, Harker. Well, you ain't gonna manifest much. You can't keep perfecting and not manifest in your life. So I'm already perfecting and I don't see nothing. Keep on perfecting. Well, I've been perfecting for 2 weeks and I don't see, keep on perfecting. I've been perfecting for a month and I don't see nothing, keep on perfecting. Well, I've been doing it for 2 months, 3 months. I've been doing it 6 months. Keep on perfecting until you had a breakthrough and you'll never look back. you'll never look back again. Because now once you break through, that's a sign that you not only have perfected it, you've mastered it. All right. So today's kin, look at what it says. Watch this. The 23rd expression of the Creator. I know somebody who's a kin 23. They were born on kin 23 on the 260-day calendar. That syncs up with the 365-day calendar. And the 23rd expression is dealing with you came to the earth as a powerful manifester. Look at what it says. I perfect in order to dream. So the more you perfect, the more bigger dreams you dream. Producing intuition. I seal the input of abundance with the planetary tone of manifestation. I am guided by the power of magic. That sounds different than Wednesday, it's hump day, doesn't it? Let's say it 3 times to lock it in. I perfect in order to dream. Producing intuition. I seal the input. The abundance is already within with the planetary tone of manifestation, that the abundance was designed to manifest on the material plane. And I'm guided by the power of magic. It's going to seem like magic when I manifest these dreams. One more time to lock it in. I perfect in order to dream, producing intuition. I seal the input of abundance with the planetary tone of manifestation. I am guided by the power of magic. Who got the magic of manifestation? Who got the magic of dreaming bigger dreams to gain greater intuition and instructions on how to carry out those instructions to turn your dreams into reality? And it's like magic. Let's talk about the Holomind perceiver before we exit. What is the Holomind perceiver? What is the purpose of the Holomind perceiver, and why study it? Well, why not study it? Would you want me to call it the partial mind perceiver, the limited mind perceiver, the lack mind perceiver? That's what we already operating in. So let's try this hollow mind or whole mind perceiver out so we can really see what we could do in this physical body as humans, the new humans of the new time. The hollow mind perceiver is a hypersense organ located in the middle of the corpus callosum, where the pineal gland is. All right. It facilitates the integration of time, being the evolution of consciousness, space, memory, and mind as a radical principle, as the principle of radicalized synchronization. Now, synchronization is the power of nature and how it operates. That activates the totality of our perceptual being. So instead of us thinking about life based on our past experiences, I didn't make the varsity college basketball, high school basketball team. My girlfriend ditched me and went for my best friend, and now me and my best friend ain't best friends no more. My mom didn't hold me enough. See, that's what our perception is based on, and our personality comes from. I call it the circumstantial persona. But when we talk about radicalized synchronization, that what activates the totality of mind in our perceptual being, now we can see things from a holistic perspective. Okay? This is why I want to learn the current application of this system of synchronization to help involve humanity in the galactic community. Persons have realized their past and future and will be able to become interstellar mediators to direct and receive galactic information from the multiple frequency streams emanating the universal electromagnetic ocean. This is just heart knowing, right? The heart has more electrical impulses, I'm told, than the brain. That's why they give you EKG. The heart is what, as a man, as a woman thinketh in his or her heart, then so is he or she. So this syndicates a frequency. This is the true law of attraction of how you see yourself in your heart of hearts. That's why your self-image is so important. And that's why you need to operate with your whole mind, so you'll see yourself as much larger than how we're playing small in this earth experience currently. Okay, so as we put these concepts into the brain, it activates this whole mind idea. And now we have a differentiator that most people don't have. Okay, the Holomind perceiver, let me show you what it does. It's based on the law of holonomy, that energetically we are systems inside of larger systems. The keys to evolving consciousness and awareness of a multidimensional being is understanding the Holomind perceiver. It's the science of telepathy and extrasensory perception. So if you ever seen the movie Lucy, it's the science behind how all of that works. So if you know the science of how it works and you work it, then you can experience a version of that. Okay, and that's where the human is going into. We're moving into more of the telepathic age, and these are the logical and the synchronized mind expressions that take place for us to transform. Logical thinking plus balanced, logical, and emotional, then it moves to the synchronistic hollow mind. And this is the transformational process that makes us a telepathic human versus an artificial intelligence human. So we got the choice on what we want to do. Okay. And so the hollow mind perceiver has many different aspects of it. But just know that the mind is connected to everything. And really what it does is it puts together the empathetic versus the empathic versus the telepathic as both sides, different sides of the same coin. Okay, so we move from sensory, I feel like, to extrasensory emotional intelligence. It is powerful. Okay, and one of the reasons why I'm doing this session is because those of you, we just started our spring courses. You need to be in the spring courses, and you need to what? Keep perfecting this concept until you break through. Because look at what's happening in the world. They're creating all these programs to make you smaller. And if you don't have something, a spiritual system, a cosmology to make you bigger, then you'll never overpower your circumstances, because the program is always going to make you smaller and at an emotional deficit to your circumstances in this reality. That's the control mechanism. Okay, so just know that all of the expressions of the creator are connected to every planet in the solar system. And every planet in the solar system has a consciousness that's part of your mind. It's been here longer than you've been in this physical form. And therefore, it can download data into your mind that can be downloaded into your heart and intuitively spoke to you on how to carry out prophecies and how to carry out different precognitive type dispositions that people have no clue. How did you know that? How did the Dogon know that stars could see star Sirius and their cycles without a telescope? It's the same type of concept, right? So all your mind is bigger than your brain. Your mind is bigger than this planet. Your mind is bigger than the galaxy. You just hadn't remembered it yet. And when you do, it's going to make you see yourself in God's image as a larger version of yourself, and you're going to be able to be more successful in everything that you do. Okay, so what we do when we study the Holomind perceiver is one of the aspects is there's 7 mental spheres. These are the thinking layers of the cosmos. Today we're on the 6th of the 7, called Limi, subliminal consciousness. Let's just look at what it says. This is the sphere of parapsychic supermental access. So we're getting access to supermental abilities through this mental sphere when we meditate on it. That's why I talk how I talk. I'm not just saying that because I heard somebody else saying it. This is what I experience as the voice of God in me. And the same voice is in you. Subliminal means below threshold. This is the subliminal sphere or plane of mind that processes signals and thought frequencies beyond the metasensory, right? That's beyond the sensory threshold of the biological organism. So who's the biological organism? We are. This is the sphere for reprogramming conventional third dimensional mental programs. This is the day, every 6th day, or we call it 6 plasma, that you focus on reprogramming third dimensional mental programs. And they're always advancing, so you always have to do this. This mental sphere is the seat of the telepathic standing system and interdimensional programs. This is how we can communicate with entities beyond this plane of existence, ancestors, extraterrestrials, other star systems, and things of that nature. That's how powerful this aspect, the sixth mental sphere, really is, subliminal consciousness. So just think about when the moon of manifestation, how can I perfect what I do? How can I perfect this process? Keep practicing it. Better yet, start practicing it. Take the class. Get deeper into it, because the programs are only going to get more powerful. So what are you going to do? Wait for something or get powerful in your own human technology, right? And so I'm not going to go over activations. That's for the class. But that once you understand what the activations mean, it takes your meditation and ability to evolve to another level, because now you're allowing the whole mind to come through the crown and inform your mind and heart of the greater mind and its aspects and its abilities in the body. And you can carry those out through behavior. By what? Practicing. And proper practice makes you better until you perfect it. All right. So we got some powerful stuff going on. And our classes have just started. I want you to consider joining our spring term. We already started the term, but we just started, so you can get involved. If you're new, you want to look at the log time, the LOT 100 basics. This is the psychology of a multidimensional being, and Holomind Perceiver 421 is the introduction to the synchronic order. These are keys to laying the foundation of doing what I'm talking about, right? Building a telepathic mind, being able to override programs, being able to be even more powerful than Chat GPT, that you getting downloads from the unmanifest, and you can trust that intuitively. That's what we are. And one of the things that helps with the classes is just becoming an I am member, infinitely aligned memory member. That's the membership. So in the next 2 weeks or 2 heptads, we'll be having back to our Amplify Your Purpose session just for the members, but you get so many things, so many replays, and up to 25% off as a monthly member, up to 50% off as an annual member. And the percentages vary because it depends on how close we are to the semester. If you, for example, if you say, oh man, I want to go ahead and get started. I know they started the semester, but I want to go ahead now. I'm inspired. Okay, well the discount going to be different than if we was 2 months ago, because now we got to do extra stuff to get you caught up and get you in line with what we got already going on. Okay, so just know that. But next term will be the fall term, and you'll be able to get in early on that, and you may get some deeper discounts on that. But there are discounts. In fact, it's going to be for today only. If you are a annual member, it's 25% off the classes that you take for today only. And if you're a monthly member, it's 10% off. Okay. So that's what we're going to work with. All right. Any questions? Anybody have any questions before we go ahead and wrap up with the remembering the Holomind Perceiver? Because to get there, we got to empower the left brain. And I'll tell you how to disempower it. Keep following the Gregorian calendar. We got to empower the right brain. You got to do more than go to church and do spiritual practices. You got to understand the patterns of the cosmos and live them. And that's going to help you trigger your memory. And that's going to help you get to a higher state of consciousness. And that's going to get you to demonstrating that in the body. Okay? And then now you're prepared for the whole mind to open up through the 1,000-petal lotus. And then now your mind starts to take you places that your body can't. And it's powerful. It's very powerful. And it helps you in every situation. It helps you with your children, helps you in your job, helps you in your business, helps you in your ministry, helps you in whatever. The more consciousness and the more conscientious you become, the more powerful you become in your physical experience. All right, so if you got any questions, you can email me at Neb Taharka at synchronistichuman.com. And I'll put that in here in just a second. But I like to end with the declaration of evolution. This will only take a couple minutes. I know we've gone some time over. I trust you've gotten something out of what we got going on here. Okay, because I don't know too many people talking about this way. Tying this type of mind science to a cosmology is huge, because we all need a covering, and if we all need, if we get off track, well, how do I get on track? Well, the synchronic order, the way nature works, the way the cosmos evolves, is a great way, an indicator to show us how to get back on track, versus asking somebody an artificial way, which gets us in a trap. So, declaration of evolution, I'm going to say I, and then say your name. I'm going to say my name. Hereby declare that I will. We're going to go through each bullet point. Here we go. I, say your name, Neb Taharka. Hereby declare that I will make evolution my number one priority. I, say your name, declare your evolution. Hereby declare that I will clear any karma associated with my existence once revealed. I, say your name, hereby declare that I will discover, carry out, and become my purpose. I, say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will remove any judgments that I have of myself and others. I, say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will look for and remove any spiritual blockages or misalignments. I, say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will end any cycles that do not support my evolutionary process. I, say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will show compassion for all beings and all other species on the planet. I, say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will be patient with my process and others going through their processes as well. I, say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will be disciplined and focused when things get challenging, and they will get challenging. I, say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will listen to my intuition and carry out its instructions when received. I, last one, say your name, hereby declare that I will ultimately strive for self-mastery. Ashe, ashe, and ashe. Oh, and so it is. Woo! On behalf of the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment and all of its students and all of you, thank you for taking time to listen. We are on our way to something that is so special, and we love for you to be a part of it. And I will say in closing, in Lakesh means I am another you. Alakin means you are another me. Hotep, Hetipu, and Namaste. And remember, evolution is the solution. Enjoy your creation. Peace.
Swimming through the waves of truth and lies, seeking the patience to be still and ride the ebbs and flows away inside. Carry me through the womb. I lie awake but sleep. I lie awake but sleep. That's why I'm starting to figure out how to change my ways. Starting to navigating every part of my mind, seeking to impress the shadows in my mind, knowing all is mental and it's all divine. Everything's connected, everything's aligned. The words of my creation, it was all designed to realign. I really need to free our mind. And notice every second we were all assigned to reach a better understanding in our time. Said I'm starting to figure out how to change my ways, trying to figure out how to spend my days, create the frequency that I seek to live in. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Focus on the body, mind, heart, and soul. Raising my vibrations everywhere I go. No, I'm not the body, you're the mind, I'm soul. Spiritual warfare going on. That I see the light, my eye flows into the depths of my reality. There I go, drowning my thoughts and in my pixels with my eyes closed. That's when I know the scars that I grow can only keep on getting bigger as the time flows. So I gotta seek and counsel in the most that I know to help me fight the enemy that wants to stop the growth. Yeah, these scars are made by me, igniting naturally in this realm. I can be anything I wanna be through the most high. I will reach the highest frequency, so I gotta pick my feet. The time is now. Start to figure out how to change my ways, start to figure out how to spend my days, create the frequency that I seek to live in. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. Focus on the body, mind, heart, and soul. Raising my vibrations everywhere I go. No, I'm not the body, you're the one, I'm soul. An eternal soul wandering in the realm of the physical nature as you take birth again and again in search of true happiness and peace. This is the origin of duality in a world of time-space. The ego is like a blanket of dust which has settled on a piece of glass and obstructs the light from passing through. But the soul is in reality pure, which is the truest and highest frequency.